Hello and welcome back to another episode of Interstellar Discussions, ladies and gentlemen, right? Today, we got something funky for you. It's going to be a little bit serious today because some of the stuff that's been released to do with the Varginha or Vagina, I don't know. UFO incident of 1996 got released and it's just a bit mind-melting to say the least, mate. So we're going to review the footage, kind of pick it apart a little bit, kind of observe and see what's going on, and then also talk about some other instances that have happened in the past that kind of relate to what we're seeing in this piece of footage. So, without further ado, let's go. Right, so in 1996, people saw a cigar-shaped UFO craft flying over Varginha, Brazil, and it was emitting smoke, it was emitting light, there was things flying around the sky erratically, and then also people testified seeing these alien beings running around the villages and the forest. And most notably, 3 ladies testified and said that this being right here was seen. It was short, it had a bulbous head, red eyes, oily skin, just a hell lot strange, right? Let's get into the footage and compare it to what we're seeing here. Right, here's the 4 minutes worth of footage. There's no sound or anything associated with this clip, but this did surface a little while ago apparently, right? But now it's resurfaced online after being shoved under the carpet. Now this person's walking into the woodland. The camera seems to kind of coordinate with the era of 1996. Now, he walks in, sees this, body on the floor, mate, and he panics and runs out. I would be pooping farting myself, mate. Crazy. And he kind of comes back a little bit a while later, kind of gathers his thoughts, and then tries to venture in again with his shaking hand. But it's just very interesting. Some people were saying that this being looks like its eyes were moving. It's moved a little bit. It looks like it's gasping as well. Which is kind of strange. Now, during this encounter, apparently there was military personnel that were seen taking crash fragments out, the alien bodies as well, in question. Now, someone handling one of the bodies apparently perished because obviously skin-to-skin contact of whatever these things have was extremely toxic to humans. Look at this, mate. Look, head, bulbous head, big eyes. Looks like it's moving a little bit, but whether that's to do with the camera distortion, and as it gets closer, the distortion on the video camera is almost like a very big static type thing going on, and we see a lot of this when it comes to extraterrestrial close contact. Here we go, here we go, look at this, mate. Right, let me try and pause it. There we go. See, like, we've got like a big bulbous head, right? It's got a ridge down the middle. It kind of looks like a little bit creased. Big red eyes, oily skin, dark coloured in nature, much like the ladies were talking about in their testimony, right? Exactly how they described the being that they saw, or beings that they saw running around, was exactly this thing here, right? Now, there was that old piece of footage that happened around the same time in 1996 with a person called Dr. Reed. Out walking his dog, came across a being. I think his dog went after it. It unalived his dog. And then he bludgeoned this being to death, basically. And when this being was first seen perished on the floor, it was very white and grey in nature. Now, later on, when they when they brought this thing back and it had they inspected it, its skin tone changed, much like to the same colour as this being that we're seeing on this clip. Now, the eyes as well, when he opens the eyelid, it looks like the red eyes of what these beings have, which is a little bit strange. Exactly same year as well. And he's looking in, there's all sorts of other things going on. I don't know if there's any sort of like crash retrieval pieces. The body again, it looks like it's kind of moved a little bit. It looks like there's probably like 3-4 fingers there. Quite big appendages. Look at that. I mean, I'd estimate this to be around 4 foot. You know, to kind of back up what the ladies were saying in their testimony. Right, here's a high definition photo of the alien in question that we saw in the piece of footage. Right, here you can see much better what we were trying to kind of decipher. So we've got the head here. It kind of looks like there's two little ridges down the side. It's got this large, long ridge down the top of its head here. Very bulbous, and then a tiny chin with these giant eyes that do look reddish in nature, man. And again, the oily skin, about, I'd say, roughly to do with like 4 foot tall. And it matches pretty much what the ladies were saying in their testimony. Now, there was another thing that a soldier said, that it looked like a burnt type of body from afar, right? In one of the soldiers on the case. Now, I'd say it pretty much represents this. Like, if you're coming across the woodland, it looks like it's probably charred. I don't know, man. Right, this is a different video to do with Dr. Reed, same year, that encountered a alien that apparently unalived his dog out on a walk, which then he bludgeoned. And this was a photo or a piece of footage recorded shortly after this alien perished, right? As you can see here, the white skin in nature is very white and lightly coloured. And then in a piece of footage I'm about to show you where this body was taken back to a lab and an autopsy was commenced, it's changed colours drastically, right? Right, here's a piece of footage. They've just unravelled this being in question. Now it's completely changed colour. Now, from the initial white colour that we saw originally when it was very early deceased versus now, the colour that's taken here is a very stark difference. And it kind of makes you think, if this is legit and these beings are very real, when they perish, do they change colour much like octopus, cuttlefish and things of that nature do, you know? Do they have the same pigmentation that changes quite dramatically? Right, what they're going to do is they're going to go up to the being in a moment and then they're going to open its eyes. And pay attention to the eye colour. Look at this slender face, mate. Again, these kind of slender, tall features. And this kind of reminds me of when people explain what the tall whites are. These alien beings. I mean, you can hear the trembling in his voice a little, well, in his breathing. Here we go, look. He's going to move the face. And then they should open the eyes. It's those like slit eyes as well. And in that video that we just saw, the Varginha alien body incident, the eyes were kind of like closed up at one point and then they were open. So whether this thing is actively blinking or moving. The tiny little mouth again. He's going to open the eyes on this thing. Right, it looks like it has that red sort of colour again in the iris, much like many people have talked about and witnessed. And there's like the bludgeoned area at the back of its head apparently. Go on, open its eye. Open its eye, big lad. Let's have a look. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty damn detailed. Man. Right, we're about to watch the 3 ladies that actually encountered the beings in question. I'm going to hear their eyewitness testimony here, mate. Check this out.
Pra gente, o que aconteceu em janeiro de 96?
A gente estava voltando do serviço que ela trabalhava.
So, it was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This was not the usual way that they would take to go back home.
E olhei, falei assim, só pra elas assim, gente, olha ali.
She saw a little creature that was really sweating.
Same looking thing,
like
mate.
A little person, but with no hair whatsoever, red eyes and 3 horns. She pointed to the other girls and started.
Look at that.
Away.
If they all had the opportunity to speak to the world about their experience, what would they like the world to know?
Ah, pra mim não foi boa, não. Se fosse pra me passar por isso hoje, eu não passaria.
They said it wasn't a good experience at all. If they could choose, they wouldn't go through it again. And only people who have been through what they have been through can tell how they felt and how it all affected their lives.
How has it changed their lives?
Como isso afetou a vida de vocês?
Em tudo. No trabalho, na escola.
She said it affected everything, like from friendships to work to school, people getting away from them, people thinking they were, crazy or something.
Alguém pode chegar? Não, foi assim, pegamos e levamos para tal lugar.
She just says that she hopes that one day the whole thing will come clear and she will, you know, her word will be taken seriously and they'll know that she was always telling the truth.
Now, when it comes to the Varginha UFO alien incident, there was so many disinformation campaigns, people being discredited, all this kind of stuff that was being flown around to kind of say that these people were not seeing what they saw, the situation never happened, and it kind of got turned into a bit of a joke, which is absolutely terrible for the people that witnessed this. It wasn't just these three ladies, it was many people witnessed everything from the UFO craft flying around the sky going crazy, to the beings, to the visitations as well, mate. The whole story, and it's just wild, to say the least, right? So, I don't know. I thought I'd just make this little video just kind of exploring this piece of footage. You guys let me know what you think down below, but I think there's a stark sort of similarity with some of the Dr. Reed stuff to the Varginha footage as well, and what these ladies were saying as well. So it all kind of lines up a little bit to the story at hand. So I'm not sure, mate. I don't know, guys. You guys let me know what you think down below. Thank you for watching, and I will be going to a crop circle tomorrow and observing some very cool things and markings, and the whole place in itself is just kind of funky. So stay tuned, a video will be out in the next few days, and I'll see you in the next one.